I've hit Infinite and Marvel Snap every season since December 2022. That's 39 seasons in a row, and this season I did it with just 2 decks, and you can do it too. We'll just dive into the full video so you can know the ins and outs of these 2 decks I used to reach Infinite. Hey, what's up everybody? Kicker of Elves here. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day wherever you're at. I have hit Infinite 39 seasons in a row, and this season I did it again with just 2 decks. Now, I did test around with a couple of random ones here and there, but these are the 2 decks I used to push all the way from 75 to Infinite. I will just say at the top, this has been my least favorite Infinite climb since, I would say, May 2023. Almost 3 years ago when it was the Zabu Darkhawk Black Hole Stature meta out there. It's been rough. I am excited to have hit this and be able to make this video and share the decks to help y'all achieve your ranked goals, whether that be hitting Infinite or not. But hoo boy, Star-Lord Master of the Sun as a season pass card is pretty rough. But let's dive into it. The first of the 2 lists here, and this is one I use significantly less. This is one I started the season with. I came off of last season extremely high on Man-Spider. This is a classic Man-Spider Pixie list from Cougar, where I swapped out Maverick for Star-Lord Master of the Sun. Now, of course, at the time, a season launch, we did not realize the scope of just how all-encompassing this card was going to be. So the idea for this list was, let's keep leaning into Man-Spider. Man-Spider in January was the best combo deck in the game. And instead of Maverick, let's have another condition where we have Star-Lord to merge onto Symbiote Spider-Man and get us to a point where at the end of the game on turn 6, we can do Man-Spider Taskmaster, Fin Fang Foom Man-Spider Taskmaster, that sort of crazy thing. Ideally, if we have Pixie to just give us something to do earlier on in the game, to switch things over to, you can get a 1-cost Fin Fang Foom. That's ridiculous. But the core idea is get our merge cards down, get Agony, play Fallen One or Star-Lord Master of the Sun on the Symbiote Spider-Man, and then Man-Spider Taskmaster pop off. Man-Spider on top of the Agony, do crazy stuff from there. That's the core thesis of this deck, and it was pretty good. You notice I say pretty good, and that this is not the main deck I used to climb to Infinite this season. That's because, let's say this was the first 2 days of the season. Star-Lord Master of the Sun was largely looked at as being, oh, maybe this is like a backup Fallen One for this desk. That's what I was using. A lot of top players were pretty low on this card of like, it's kind of Temu Fallen One. Oh, it's going to be a high Evo thing. And so it's like, I want to mess around with the season pass card and make some content around it. Me going in there. I gave this card on launch day like a 7 or 8 out of 10. This is like a high 9.5, maybe a 10 out of 10 card right now with how strong it is. So it's like, all right, let's bring it in here. Quickly started noticing, wait a minute, this card's freaking nuts. This is significantly better than Fallen One. This is a list that was based around Fallen One as its core energy cheat plan by doing Symbiote Spider-Man Fallen One stuff and was not tailored for Star-Lord. So, what was the main deck I used to hit Infinite? Well, let's talk about the absolute menace of the February 2026 metagame, and that's this list. This list right now has Quake in it because it's the hot location, but the main card you should have in there in place of Quake is Bruce Banner. There we go. This is the de facto Star-Lord list right now. If you have Star-Lord Master of the Sun, this is the list you should be playing. The ethos of this here is Star-Lord plays a lot like Mr. Negative, where if you get Mr. Negative and you're able to pop off and do that, get your Mr. Negative into Jane Foster, you've got 0-cost Gore and Mystique, or not Mystique, Null and Iron Man, all that crazy fun stuff. Star-Lord's like what Mr. Negative wants to be when it grows up, because it gets to play proactive tech cards like Alioth and Juggernaut and replicate those effects with cards like Arnim Zola and Absorbing Man without, you can't play Alioth and Mr. Negative. The costs just don't line up. You can play, it's not really a teched out deck. There used to be, there's the Shang-Chi Killmonger version of it. That's pretty cool. It's not going to be enough to beat this Star-Lord list. So ideally what you're trying to do is you want to play off curve. You get a Jim Hammond down on 2, Bruce Banner down on 3, unless you have Luna Snow. Always play Luna Snow on 3 if you can, even though it is playing off, even though that is technically playing on curve. if you were able to go into a Star-Lord on 4 after playing Luna Snow on 3, because you want to do Star-Lord on 4 and then copy it, you're getting the same energy, extra actually. So if you don't have Luna Snow, Jim Hammond on 2, Bruce Banner on 3, you never play a card on turn 1. And then on turn 4, this is where a lot of the skill expression of this deck. Now I know a lot of people say like, oh, skill expression to Star-Lord deck. As much as I super dislike this meta, I am relieved to have hit Infinite and sort of be able to, okay, let me take a step back here. I can reassess, I can goof around in Conquest. I've hit that first goal of the season, but I don't want to beat around the bush and just be like, oh, you can play whatever. Go out there and play Scream. This is the list to beat. You either need to be playing this list, or your list needs to have answers to it in the form of Supergiant and Cosmo. I'm actually curious for folks watching this, if you want me to cover decks that beat Star-Lord. Maybe y'all don't have the season pass or you're just sick of it. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. There's a lot to talk about with Star-Lord and the cards and the cards that want to beat it. But back on track here. What this deck does and why it works so well is you want to do, your ideal game plan is Star-Lord on 4 and then some combination, because you'll be typically going into turn 5 with 8 energy, of Arnim Zola, Grandmaster, and Absorbing Man. I love if you have things wide open, especially if you have a Jim Hammond in the middle location. You Star-Lord on the left location, Arnim Zola the Star-Lord, so you get 2 Star-Lord copies. Then you Zola, or you Grandmaster the Zola. So that way, now there's only Star-Lord or Jim Hammond in the middle. And when you do that, you're either going to create 2 more Star-Lords from the one in there, and you're going to have a zillion energy going into turn. You're going to be able to play your entire hand on turn 6. Or if you low roll it, if you can call it that, you Zola your Jim Hammond, and you have like 2, like 8 to 10 power Jim Hammonds on the board, like sometimes even bigger going in there. That's to say nothing else of your turn 6 play. It feels phenomenal. But you can also do things like, a lot of decks want to attack this like a Cosmo. You can be tricky if you think that's coming, and like Absorbing Man the Star-Lord on, if Star-Lord's on your left location, you Absorbing Man the Star-Lord on the right location, then Grandmaster the Absorbing Man to try and juke them out. There's a lot of different ways. Even if on turn 5 you don't have Star-Lord by turn 5. You play Star-Lord on turn, if you don't have Star-Lord on turn 4, you can play Star-Lord on turn 5 and still have like 8 energy just off of that, or even 9 energy, which is plenty to be able to do just some crazy pop-off stuff. If you have Luna Snow down and you Star-Lord on 5, you're still going to have enough to play a 6-drop and like a Juggernaut to close things out. It's insane. If you have Luna Snow down, you can play Star-Lord and Grandmaster on turn 5 to get 2 procs of it. This is the best. Star-Lord Master of the Sun is the best energy cheat card in the game. It's not even close. And for those of you that were looking at the first deck and I saw a lot of my videos and just like very high, watched my tier list and saw how positive I was on Manspider, you're like, why aren't you running a Manspider list? Well, Fin Fang Foom and the resurgence of this list being the deck to beat. Last week at this time, Manspider really only had to worry, the version I was playing, the Pixie list, really only had to worry about Cosmo. If you got Cosmoed, well, that was kind of a bummer. But because of how strong this list is from Derek, and like there was some, I kind of co-credit this list to Derek and Roram. Roram played a version of this to Infinite on day 1. Derek, big Juggernaut fan, as am I, kind of made some innovations in here as well, and they've kind of been I'm gonna credit them as co-authors. I don't know if one would give to the other, but that's how I'm gonna look at it here. With this list being Alioth and Juggernaut, bringing them back into the meta in a big way, on top of having Fin Fang Foom, Manspider is just not the place to be. Huge bummer. I was loving playing Manspider literally a week ago. At the time of recording this, it's Sunday night, so we're not even a week into the season here. But with this list being what it is, it's very difficult to realistically say, oh yeah, just play Manspider. If you don't have Star-Lord, Manspider's fine, I guess. But like you're going to get Alioth, you're going to get Juggernaut, you're going to get Alioth, then they're going to Absorbing Man the Alioth. Decks that throw priority are not safe right now. That's why I'm not a believer in the hella list of this one. You want to seize priority. You want to Alioth, Juggernaut, Fin Fang Foom, Zola. It's insane. One thing I do want to talk about this, because this was something that I had missed out for my early, like a good chunk of time while playing this list, is that you are not dead in the water if you don't draw Star-Lord. Yes, Star-Lord is your main game plan and win condition, but if you do something like Luna Snow, Absorbing Man, and then Wave on turn, like, you know, you do Luna Snow on 3, Absorbing Man on 4, Wave on 5, you're going to have enough to play 2, you know, Fing Fang Foom and Zola in another location. You're going to bring them down to each cost 4 and then be able to pop off that way. It's not ideal, but it is a way that you are like, if you don't draw Star-Lord, you're not dead on the water. You just have to get creative there too. Bruce Banner, 33% chance to pop off. It's crazy. Legion's in here for scams. If you're seeing a lot of this deck, like over half of your lists are against this, and like you don't, maybe you bring Red Hulk in. Red Hulk is a great counter for the mirrors, but Legion can just give you so many different scam potential. If you're watching this video right as it comes out and you still have a little bit of time left on the Nexus hot location, I'd say swap Bruce Banner out for Quake, just to have more expression with the hot location there. This deck already, as is in its current form, is great into a Nexus hot location. Saw a post on Reddit being like, this is the Nexus counters the Star-Lord Master of the Sun. No, it doesn't. This is a very Star-Lord Master of the Sun hot location, because you can Legion, you can Juggernaut. Maybe someone will surprise Galactus you. It's gonna happen. People have this list on the mind, but yeah, this is a rough one, gang. I still love Marvel Snap, but it is very surprising. It was not on my bingo card for Star-Lord to make me dislike the meta game as much as I do right now. And I love making videos for y'all. I'm pumping out tons of Marvel Snap stuff. There's still a lot to talk about with new cards coming out. I'll probably, let me know, I probably will do a full deck guide on this. I feel like it is going to be very worth to do an in-depth breakdown of this for people who A, want to play it, or B, want to know its ins and outs so they can figure out how to counter it. But yeah, this is the list. This is the main one I played. There were times where I tried to like do Shu Lao, do other stuff, try the Super Giant stuff, but I just kept coming back to this is the premier deck of the metagame. And it was what I played for the vast majority of my climb. And y'all are going to see it out there. If you've got Star-Lord, check it out, get in on the insanity. Maybe you will enjoy this sort of combo mirrors more than I do. Hope that's the case. One question as we now get towards the end of the video, I want to thank you all for watching, of course, but you know, I've been doing 100% Snap content on this channel. There's new games coming out. Like that game Eugenics comes out, you know, if you're watching this day, it comes out the day after on Tuesday. Would you all be interested in videos on that? Or if you just want, like, genuinely let me know. If you just want Snap content, if you're like, I'm not into the variety stuff, that's cool too. This is probably my favorite game ever. It's the game I play the most. I'm not going to stop playing, but just putting the feelers out there for folks who make it to the end of the video. Would you watch other stuff like that? Let me know. These are the 2 decks I use to hit Infinite. You can use these decks to achieve extreme success as well, especially this Star-Lord Master of the Sun list right here. And please, if you made it this far into the video, hit that sub button, like, comment. It does such a tremendous help to the channel. We are on the road to 1,500 subscribers. It's been a crazy 3.5 months making videos for y'all. The community that we have here, and you know, all the regular commenters, you know who you are, show up. It's awesome. It is genuinely a highlight of my day and week making these videos for y'all. So also, while you're here, check out the video on your screen right now. It's another cool piece of Marvel Snap content. Anyway, I'm Kicker of Elves. This is my 39th season in a row hitting Infinite Big 4-0 next month, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.